Today's Battle March game represents the raids during the early stages of War Spinecracker. The Orc forces are led by Big Boss Scranmuncher, wielding his additional hand weapons and commanding an Orc mob with throwing spears. His raid is accompanied by an Orc boar chariot, and a mob of goblins with spears and light armour, supported by a rock lobber. As the Orcs approach the town of Dolecourt, Paladin Pui rallies a group of knights of the realm to his side and musters a village militia of longbowmen and men-at-arms. Soon, he hopes that his riders will bring news of the Orc party to a nearby village, such that a force of mounted knights of the realm and their squires will swoop in for the rescue.
Shall we see who's going to go first?
Of course, the great defenders of Dolecourt will do their best to get the upper hand against these orcish invaders.
Who of us finished deploying first? I think it might have been
I think it was me, actually, yes.
Because you've got guys off the table coming on as reinforcements.
That's right.
I'm bringing a 5.
I've got a 1.
In that case, the Orcs will take the initiative and will try and get to that bridge before you can defend it. Good luck.
You too.
Before we jump into the first turn, please consider checking out our partners at ukresinprint.com. They have a wide range of models from various designers, all ready to print, so you needn't faff around with liquid resin. Find a link in the description below.
As War Durbad is, and War Spinecracker as they are called in some sources, is occurring across the northern reaches of Corone, my small splinter group is going after the village of Dolecourt, off in the distance because we're smelling fantastic smells from their bakeries and fancy some grub. We've got the first turn, and there's nothing really to declare in our command phase. We're not ready for a war just yet, so my movement phase is going to involve pushing the chariot forwards, pushing the boys forwards, and then taking our goblins here and moving on through the difficult terrain of that wheat field, heading towards the river, where hopefully we won't be completely pincushioned by those peasant men-at-arms. As my march continues forwards, there's really only one option here. We've brought along a rock lobber to try and demolish some of the shrines and statues of the lady in Dolecourt, and I see a band of peasants arriving in the distance who would make easy targets for the wrath of my snotlings. And so we'll lob a rock at them. Scatter die, artillery die. It's a direct hit.
Right, we've got 4 partial hits, which means all of them have got 3.
Whew.
So,
Okay.
one poor peasant is under the hole, so that's a strength 10 hit, I believe, from a rock lobber. Regardless, it's wounding on a 2. At AP a lot.
He's been squashed.
He's been squashed.
He's been squashed. The lady was with the unit, but not with that man.
No. And let's see if he's managed to block it with his body for his mate with a strength 4 hit. Not wounded.
Excellent.
So everybody's scarpered, and one dude shoved his mate out the way and just got flattened by a chunk of the barn.
Having only killed one man-at-arms, this has been a bit of a lackluster first turn. I might have hoped to panic and maybe even drive the peasants off the table, but no, they've come to defend land, liberty, and freedom. The freedom to toil in the fields and pay taxes.
And the pale sisters between Cologne and Marienberg, the tribes began to gather beneath the banner of War Spinecracker.
So these knights of Dolecourt, or wherever they have just come from, are rushing towards this bridge because they've seen the orcs in the distance and they really want to be able to stop them getting through to the village. The local village militia have just turned up and they're going to try and make their way forwards so that they can have an impact on this battle. And these peasants can already see those goblins in that difficult terrain across the river. They're going to do as much as they can this turn. They haven't got any reinforcements yet, but they have sent off some riders to a nearby village, back to a raiding army to try and get some more support here to stop these orcs. Will they arrive in time? I don't know. So the Bretonnian knights have marched forward, led by their leader, Paladin Pui, and they are being followed in a rush by these militia. So they've made it to the bridge, but the militia have not had time to reform yet. So if this line, this thin band of knights breaks down, then the militia are in a great deal of trouble. Bretonnian shooting, as is tradition, had no impact on the goblins. They were at long range, and the goblins themselves are in a field, which gives them a little bit of cover. that leaves us having to see what happens on this bridge. Crucially, will we be able to hold out until some reinforcements arrive?
What began as scattered raids soon became a great migration of orcs and goblins pouring out of the hills.
It's still not time for the war yet, I don't think. My boar chariot's going to get in the way. So the command phase is pretty basic. However, we do have a fantastic opportunity to really see how a boar chariot will stand when it's only fighting a small number of infantry in a battle march game. And so we're going to be declaring a charge with the boar chariot in to these Knights of the Realm on foot. I should have asked, are you going to hold?
Of course,
Yeah.
the knights will hold. They're not going to yield this bridge easily.
In which case, we have a total of 11 inches, which is plenty enough for our boar chariot to slam up and maximize for 3 by the most direct route. I've maximized for 4 even. So
Yeah.
that gets us in there. These orcs are going to get ready to receive a potential overrun in case things go badly from the knights. My goblins will continue to walk forwards. They're not afraid of the arrows. They don't do anything. And our rock lobber, I mean, let's go for consistency. Once again, a rock descends from the heavens and it scatters 4 inches away from and lands here. 1.5 inch radius, we're going to miss everything. And so, they get away scot-free. I think this is the most crucial point in this combat, and that's the impact hits. D6 plus 1 from the boar chariot. I've missed the dice tray. D6 plus 1 from the boar chariot. 2 impact hits.
Okay, right.
Okay, this is going to spell disaster, I think, for our lads in the wagon. We are strength 5 into, is it 3 on a Grail Knight?
Yes, toughness 3, but that will give me my 5 up ward save. The lady who's already been intervening.
That is going to be 2 wounding hits, though, AP minus 2, rather.
AP minus 2. I will be using the great weapons that you can see some of the guys are equipped with. In fact, I don't even know if I have to declare that at this step, in which case they won't really be able to benefit from the shields. So that will go straight through to ward. Oh, that's 2 knights gone.
Okay, that's a small blessing, I suppose. 2 orc crew, that's 2 attacks at weapon skill 3. I'm looking for 4s. That is a single hit. And then at strength 3, it's a 4 to wound. However, Choppers is going to let us re-roll. However, we don't need it.
Don't need
so
to.
1 at AP minus 1. So you got 2 6-up saves, my friend. No cigar.
Oh no.
A second knight bites the dust.
3, actually.
And then last of all, the best part of the boar chariot, 2 war boars. 4s to hit. Let's try it and getting in the dice tray. 2 successful hits. So it is plus 1 strength for 3s to wound. 2 wounding hits at AP 1, and it's not enough to trigger your lady's blessing on the big 4. Oh, but the armor makes it.
Yes. So Paladin Pui in the front here will have 3 attacks with a great weapon, and then we will get the rest of the unit also attacking back with great weapons. But Paladin Pui is going to do as much as he can to these boars and the chariot that they are pulling before the rest of the unit has to intervene.
2 hits.
These will be strength 5.
Toughness 5.
Oh no.
He's fluffed it.
He's sliced down between the boars, not into the boars.
I hope not, because that's where the yoke is, and that's quite important for my chariot's function.
Okay, and it looks like we have another 6 attacks remaining from the rest of the unit. Hitting you on 3s unless you're weapon skill 4.
No, I'm weapon skill 3.
Okay, so that is 5 hits.
Nasty.
And then
to wound.
4s to wound you. Oh, dear.
My lord.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, I think Mork is on my side because we weren't quite that brutal, but boy, was getting him to roll bad pretty cunning.
Yes, they rushed forwards, but instead of maintaining their poise and ability to hit you back, they must have been they must have had their jimmies rustled and missed all of their attacks.
So in that case, I've won the combat by 3.
Infantry outnumber.
You have the infantry outnumber.
2.
Okay, so a leadership check, and Paladin Pui is there, so it's leadership 8, I suppose.
Yes, it will be, because there's no other bonuses. On a 5.
And he doesn't even care. He's going to give ground. I mean, it's not ideal. We needed to go through those knights, break them into running, and go through into the peasants, break them into running.
Before the barons could muster their full strength, isolated villages in the states were left to face the first blows alone.
So Paladin Pui and his knights have managed to hold the bridge, at least against the charge of this Tuscar chariot. Whether or not they will continue to hold, we'll see, but they do have the advantage now with their great weapons against this chariot that does not have its impact hits. However, the goblins were able to advance relatively, and in fact entirely unmolested so far. Will they be able to cross the river? Will I be able to do anything to them with those archers before they get to me? I do not know. And I'm hoping that we get some reinforcements this turn. So in the distance, a unit of knights seems to appear on the horizon, but we do not yet know how far away they are. I'm going to roll now to see whether or not they will arrive this turn. They will not. They are slightly too far away. Alongside them, it seems they've brought their squires. Whether or not they're scouting ahead, I do not know. They are.
Okay, so the squires will be arriving.
So the archers are about to take aim at these goblins. We haven't got to that combat yet, which is crucial. But the squires have appeared behind enemy lines with a rock lobber in their sights. In future, but maybe this turn, because the peasants are now in danger, they'll turn their attention to the goblins.
Thanks to your great weapons, the boar chariot is getting to go first. So we'll take a look at 2 crew, no longer with the benefit of choppers though. We got 1 hit, a 4 to wound, it's no wound.
Oof.
And then 2 balls, no longer with AP and strength 4, 2 hits with 6s though. And hopefully we can repeat that again with 4s to wound. 2 wounding hits, no AP though.
Heavy armor then, because I'm using my great weapons. Oh, I make 1, and then a lady save. I do not make it because you are not strength 5. So 1 more knight falls to the onslaught of the chariot.
If you do 1 wound, you're going to draw the combat. You've got to do 2 wounds to win it here.
So Paladin Pui will step forward once more and take aim, hitting on 3s. Oh dear! Oh no! Paladin Pui is not having a great time right now.
He needs to have his Weetabix.
He does need to have his Weetabix. 5 knights of the realm to direct their attacks at these guys, hitting on 3s. So that's hits. 3, not too bad.
4s to wound. Oh my word, the orcs have won again.
Oh dear.
And by 2. No, by 1, because of the outnumber.
Infantry outnumber versus high ground and a wound.
Let's see your break check, my friend.
Okay, Paladin Pui. Still leadership 8.
That is a break and flee. The grinding wheels of the orc boar chariot has, I guess, pushed us back.
Well, this is where I pull a gotcha. So, Paladin Pui is not known for his weapon skill or his ability as a warrior, but he is a very stoic man, so he has the virtue of stoicism. And as a result, we'll get to re-roll this leadership test, this break test.
It's really interesting that you have that, because I've given the Helm of Courage to the big boss there, and that gives him the same ability, but also +1 armor.
Oh, okay. The orcs have out-technologied the Bretonians here. Although it is only the will of the paladin, will of Pui here. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
The will of Pui is mighty.
Excellent.
Another give ground. And you know what? We will go ahead and follow up.
By the will of Pui, these knights did not flee in terror from this gently trundling chariot. It was a bit of a slapfest in the middle there, to be honest with you. But I did manage to kill a goblin with these peasants over here.
Dolecourt lay in the path of Big Boss Grandmontia, whose warbands descended upon the countryside in search of plunder and a good fight.
There's no good options now. My orc goblins need to continue to push forwards. My orcs are kind of stuck. I don't want to head off to the side and try and fjord the river, because if the center breaks or the chariot goes away, they could just break through the middle much more effectively. We could just lose the chariot, or the chariot could break through and make the bridge completely available. I think we just need to wait. The goblins, they can fjord the river, because that's the plan all along, and head after those peasants. We're probably out of range to charge thanks to the river slowing us down to movement 3. But then it becomes a question, what am I going to do about these squires in the back? What am I going to do about the oncoming Knights of the Realm? Do I ignore them? Possibly that's the right answer. Do I try and be funny and cheeky and throw a rock at the men-at-arms and risk hitting my own chariot? We've got a number of options, and none of them are particularly good. The stoicism of Puy has definitely put a spanner in the works.
I'm starting.
Direct that over to the goblins. We've got the large orcs and goblins green dice is the unit champion. Let's see who can swim. All bar 2 regular goblins can swim. We've moved forwards. Obviously, 2 people have drowned. The only thing left is to gamble with the rock lobber. And with how tight that middle has become, it really is a gamble. But snotlings are not known for their intelligence. And if this rock lands on top of my orcs, they'll be getting a talking to later, I'm sure of it. It's a misfire. Let's see what the misfire table has in store for these snotlings. 5. It seems there's been some kind of malfunction. Fortunately, I think they've all managed to survive the event, but we'll have to reload and come back to it next turn.
Twang.
Calling on. It's a continuing trend. We got 2 attacks from the orcs. One of them hits. One of them wounds.
Ooh.
AP of 0, however, so you got the 5-up save.
A 5-up and a 6-up, potentially. I do not make the armor, but does the lady protect her knight? She does not.
No.
I have lost, finally, the entirety of this rear rank.
And you no longer outnumber, thanks to my unit strength of 5. But let's see if the boars are eating good tonight. 1 hit with them. Brings a wound. A 5 and a 6 again.
Here we go. Not on the armor, nor from the lady.
Why bother bringing armor?
We are starting to crumble to this chariot. It's just the heft of it grinding forwards.
Maybe it's time for Paladin Puy to remember his martial training.
Maybe. So there'll be 3 attacks from Puy and 3 attacks from the knights. I'll roll Puy first. Ever stoic, now hopefully strong. 2 hits.
A little more powerful than before.
So he's strength 4. I don't think this is the first time maybe he's actually made a hit.
Yeah.
So with the great weapon, that takes him to strength 6, so it'll be 3s to wound.
Will indeed.
Oh, so that is 1 at AP2 and 1 at AP3.
I can't stop the AP3, but the one on AP2, we're looking for a 6. It's no cigar.
Woo.
2 wounds remain on the boar chariot.
Puy comes through finally, and then the remaining 3 hits from the rest of the unit. 2 hits.
Yep. Falls to wound.
Let's see. 1 wound at AP2.
6 to save. It's not made, and you know what that means?
Ooh,
You've just won the combat
excellent.
by a single point. I've missed the dice tray, but that 5 is not looking hopeful. A 9, that chariot is breaking and fleeing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Puy will lead his successful and victorious, for the moment, knights forward, charging after this chariot, and we'll see where we end up.
Very good. My chariot is fleeing 8 inches. How far is Puy pursuing?
Puy and his band of knights will go 4 inches forwards, which will not catch, and I think it may be too far to get to the orcs.
But what it might do is it might prevent the furious charge on the orcs.
Oof, okay.
Which could be interesting.
We might reclaim the top of this bridge as well.
Well, I've made a bad assumption over the dice tray. I was thinking it's about to become my turn. This was my turn. So, those knights may well just be charging into the orc boys, though I see no reason for them to surrender their lives. Probably not the worst thing that could have happened standing strong. We just need to now work out where the enemy knights are coming from, and hopefully my chariot can rally itself in time to meet them in a more fair fight.
Knowing help was close, Paladin Pui marched with Dolecourt's defenders to hold the bridge on the village road.
That was an exciting development. The chariot is now fleeing. Unfortunately, not gone entirely, so it could come back another turn. We'll have to see. I have a bit of a dilemma. These knights are charging forward. They've obviously lost a little bit of their discipline in the hope that they will be able to go headlong into these orcs or catch the chariot. However, if they do, it is almost certain death because this unit of orcs is going to be big enough and strong enough to defeat them, even with Paladin Pui at the helm. I've still got these goblins to deal with on my left, and I do have my militia at the base of this bridge. Perhaps also we will finally get those reinforcements. So the peasants are going to hold and try and take out some more of these goblins. Because the goblins are sat in the river, it may be difficult for them to reach us next turn. In terms of the bridge, the militia have moved up to try and support their knights, but the knights did charge headlong in with Pui at their front. We'll see how well they will do. And then the squires at the back have realised that the fate of the peasants and the fate of the knights is within their own hands, so they have decided instead to go after these rock robbers. So the peasants, all within short range, will be hitting these goblins in the river, hitting on 4. 6 in total.
My word.
Needing 4s. Okay, we've got 4 saves for the goblins to make. No AP though, so they're shield. And do they have light armor?
They do have light armor and shield.
Okay.
Right, 4 saves to make. No AP, fortunately. 3 of them are pin-cushioned.
Oof, okay.
Starting to get pretty spicy as those goblins die.
Pui, perhaps against his better judgment, has charged headlong into these orcs. They will not get Furious Charge because they had a bit of a stutter. They didn't quite manage to catch the chariot and go further forward.
Yep.
So they've continued with their charge. And Pui will declare a challenge against the leader of this orc unit.
Well, Big Boss Scran Chewer will step up and accept the challenge.
Excellent. I think because I will be using great weapons, I mean, they've already got them out.
Yep.
They're going to try and deal as much damage as they can, but they must first survive. So you will get the initiative.
Well, let's take a look. Big Boss Scran Chewer has got 3 attacks, and he's got an additional hand weapon.
Ooh.
At weapon skill 5, your weapon skill 6, so I am hitting on 4s, and you'll be hitting me on 3s. But it comes in quite handy, because that's only 1 hit. No choppers, so it is just going to be the Big Boss's strength of 4 against your toughness of 4.
Oh, that's right.
No wounds, and we don't even get the reroll from choppers because you charged us.
Oh, okay. So Pui will get to fight, but your unit will get to fight.
Let's see Pui now.
You want to see Pui now?
See Pui.
Okay. So Pui steps up while the fight is raging around him and tries to hit your boss. He will hit all 3 times because of his extra weapon skill.
Pui was not meant for fighting boar chariots. He was meant for fighting characters.
Yes. Or perhaps he was a little bit slow, needed a bit of wake up. Perhaps he's an older veteran, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah.
His joints are now a bit more limber. Let's see what we get with these wounds. I think I need 2s, unless you are toughness 5.
Toughness 5 on an orc, Big Boss.
Okay, so there are 2 wounds here at AP 2 in that case.
So, we do have heavy armor, and we have our helmet. So these are 6s to save.
Oh yes, your helmet of courage.
Let's see if courage saves lives. 1
Ooh.
goes through, which means I'm alive on a single wound.
Oh, okay, okay. So that is 1 wound to Pui, none to the orcs, but
Yep.
the units need to fight now.
Yes, and the orcs have got a good number of attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting you on 4s because you have a higher weapon skill than us, but only by a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of a better hit.
In the back of their minds.
Actually, no, we're not. We're just missing.
In the back of their minds, the knights are thinking, and they're praying to the lady for good fortune. And that is not a bad first outcome. Let's see what the wounds are.
I mean, I've got a 60% miss rate as opposed to a 50%.
Okay, okay.
Let's see if we can wound on 4s. Well, we've pulled it back out the bag.
Not bad.
This overall, that is an average outcome. We're not big uns. Normally I have this unit be big uns, but we're not today, so that's just 3 AP 0s. Let's see those 5s and 6s.
Okay, 5s and 6s. None for the armor.
Oof.
Okay, just 6s then. Those prayers for the lady, have they reached her? No.
Oh, no.
That is
Everyone except Pui.
all but Pui.
It's not necessarily a Pui-fect outcome, but it's still pretty good. You've got 1 combat resolution and the high ground for 2.
I do.
I've got 3 wounds, a banner, a close order, 2 ranks, and an outnumber for 8.
Ooh, so double 1s. That's what I'm on. And anything here is a flea because you double outnumber me.
With the exception of the double 1.
Yes, that's right.
And you've got the reroll.
Well, that's it. Let's see if Pui the Stoic can once again hold his own. Not on the 5.
It's a good try.
Okay, come on, dice. Let's see what we get. Oh, no, the second roll was worse on a 7. So Pui is going to flee. He is a single skirmishing unit now, though. So he will flee through this close order unit of men-at-arms, and they will not panic as a result.
That is true. And we will pursue. There's no reason for us not to get stuck in.
Of course. So Pui flees a whole 6 inches.
And it doesn't really matter because Pui's base is 1 inch wide and the men-at-arms are flush up behind him. So, with our pursuit of 8 inches, the orcs managed to cover the 1 inch distance into the men-at-arms.
So here we are, the aftermath of the battle. The first units to engage, both the chariot and the knights, are fleeing or gone. All of the knights have been destroyed because of their follow-up, well, their voluntary sort of follow-up into the orcs. And that leaves their leader, Paladin Pui, fleeing, while the chariot also flees. I'm not sure what will happen from here. We were able to get a few goblins, but there is still plenty to cause problems for the peasants. Whether or not they make that charge will be key. And it was not a bad turn, really. Pui did survive, and he may be able to reclaim some of his courage and return to the fray.
If the crossing could be denied for long enough, knights from neighboring settlements might arrive before the greenskins reach Dolecourt.
Victory is here. And most important for victory is the fact that it does appear that this gap may be almost 3 inches. And if it's just over 3 inches, I've got a rock with Paladin Pui's name on it.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So, after that, these orcs are staying where they are, they're fighting. The goblins will push forwards, and we'll see if the chariot can be bothered to stick around. The goblins weren't able to stand up against the rushing waters, and so were swept 3 inches downstream towards the bridge. However, mustering themselves, they passed their march check and hurried out of the bank on the other side. Let's find out how many were left behind, face down in the current. 3 of them were left behind, and we are down to 11 goblins in that unit. So let's take a look at the first set of attacks. This is going to come from a not furious, but charging orc war boss.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have hit.
Definitely.
Now, he was on 2s, so it was likely, but that's pretty brutal.
Toughness 3.
Strength 4, that is going to be 3 wounding hits. No AP, however. One presumes. I presume they'll be stirring their polearms in favour of hand weapons and shields to give them that advantage on the saves.
Of course they will. They need to hold this bridge and keep their village folk alive. So they're doing everything they can to withstand this onslaught. So hand weapon and shield. They also have light armor. So it'll be a 5 normally, but down to a 4+ with no AP. Or I make 2 of them. These do not have the blessing of the lady, even if the lady did protect them earlier. So we lose a single men-at-arms.
I think you mean to say they've already had their blessing from the lady.
Yes, as peasants, they don't have a continuous blessing, that's true.
And his name was Philip, and he's under a piece of masonry back on the road. And now we're into the orcs. I am equipped with throwing spears, so my second rank will get to fight, even though I've performed the charge.
Oof.
So, 10 attacks total. I'm taking out 3s because I'm thinking I'm fighting knights, but I'm not. I'm fighting little weapon skill 2 peasants. 8 hits.
Okay, come on, peasants.
4's to wound.
Withstand this.
3.
Okay.
We dropped 5 out of 8.
With choppers or no choppers?
I have charged. There is choppers. There may have been a 1 there. I don't know. I'm not going to look because I should have paid attention.
Let's go. Oh, so
The AP1 comes through.
the AP1 does come through, but the other 2 are saved. So 2 men-at-arms have been hewn down by their orcish foes. 7 remaining with a champion, which will be 8 attacks in total that will be forced to hit you. That is not a bad result. 5 hits into toughness 4, so 5 to wound you. Come on, peasants. Resolve and strength is what's required here. 1 wound with no AP.
No hand weapon and shield because I'm using throwing spears, but it's still a shield and light armor for a 5 up armor save. Made it with a 6.
How many am I losing by there?
So you've got 2 total.
2.
And I've got 7.
And how many do you have in your unit?
I have 14 and a boss for 15 total.
Oh, that brings you just over double outnumber. So I think, again, it may be double ones not to flee here.
Possibly indeed, and you can't even use...
I can't use
the
Pui
paladin,
because
no.
he is fleeing. Let's see what happens. They will also be fleeing. They do not have a reroll or anything like that. So what would you like to do? What would your orcs like to do?
I haven't activated my WA yet, and so I can't do it right now in the pursuit moment. But I'd like to just say, WA. We will chase after you.
Of course.
So I will chase 8 inches. Paladin Pui is a goner unless his men-at-arms stumble, which they do not.
He does not, and they do not.
I imagine that as the peasants begin to break and run, Pui remembers a bit of himself, and he turns around, taking up one of the dropped shields and swords from the peasants, getting ready to face off against the orcs as they charge and barrel across the bridge towards him. And he buys the peasants a little bit of time to get some extra ground before his exhausted elderly body is trampled into the paving stones and left behind.
What a hero. A tragic hero. Pui the Stoic, living up to his name to the last.
Big boss Scrag Chewer has decided to declare that we'll move into a marching column so that his boys can push forwards before the enemy is able to rally and get forwards into Dolecourt and raid it for the fantastic smelling bakery options that are on offer. The goblins are probably going to weather a final round of shooting from the peasants who will hope to break them and may have a chance now with their unit size. And we might lose the rock lobber. All in all, it should be interesting. And most importantly, the Knights of the Realm are going to arrive just out of the nick of time, it seems.
Paladin Pui and his men held the bridge with the orcs pushed harder, buying every minute they could with blood.
So, the men-at-arms that form the Dolecourt militia have rallied. They must have heard their leader, Paladin Pui, fall to the orcs behind them, giving them a moment to regain their composure and to rally and face them down at the base of this bridge. To their left, the peasant archers, although they've been primed with their bows, saw this and felt it was time. They took heart and felt it was time to bring the sword to these goblins. Further back, the knights have finally arrived as a reinforcement, coming just the wrong side of the river to be able to help the peasants, but just the right side to be able to intervene against the chariot. Or perhaps where the squires have now charged into the rock lobber. If the squires cannot prevail there, the knights will be able to in the end.
Now we come to the battle between the goblin mob and the peasant bowmen. You have charged an inch, which means that you are going to be an initiative 1 higher than the goblins. Are they initiative 2 or 3, actually, peasant bowmen?
I'm pretty sure they are initiative 3, so they will go up to initiative 4. But what weapons are you using?
If I use the spears, I go up to initiative 3, because I'm initiative 2.
Oh, your goblins are slow.
And if I use hand weapon and shield, I will be better defended. But if I'm going second anyway, a hand weapon and shield seems better. As if I don't go for that, I'm probably going to lose the 1 extra guy that would have got to fight had he not died. So
Okay.
we'll go for the hand weapon and shield.
Do you have a champion in there?
I do.
I'll declare a challenge. The villain leading these peasants will declare a challenge against your little goblin.
And Gitrucker will take it.
Excellent. Villain hits. Does not wound.
Yeah. Gitrucker hits.
Oh, with 2.
There's a reason he's got a disembodied head in his hand.
Uh-oh.
Actually, he might not. That might be the champion from the other unit.
There's a disembodied head somewhere.
There's 2 wounds, though.
You've killed him.
With an overkill.
Twice. That was a mistake.
With a nasty, yeah! I split his guts open, and as he stumbled back, I plunged my hand in and tore out a fistful of offal and threw it across the watching bowmen, completely horrifying the otherwise quite decent people.
Well, they know that if they cannot stop these goblins, it will be their village friends and families that will be
the wives and children
taking that. So 6 attacks from the rest of the unit. I hit you twice. And what do I do with the wounds? I wound you once, but with no AP.
It's failed.
Okay, 1 goblin and my champion is dead. But the goblins, the rest of them, are yet to fight.
And there are 9 of them that can still attack.
Oh no, peasants. Maybe bows and arrows were in fact the way to go.
Especially when I roll like that.
Ooh.
The goblins have had enough of dying to arrows and to the river and being slow. They want to show the orcs they can really just do it where it needs to be done.
Wow, they do. That'll be another 5 peasant bowmen and their leader gone for a total of 7 combat rares because of overkill.
And the really great part is you're now down to 8 guys. So 7 combat rares from overkill, an outnumber, a clothesline, and a banner from me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to put me up to 10 combat resolution to the peasants 1.
Double ones. I've had to say that a few times this game. Let's see if the peasants can pull it off where Pui could not.
Best of luck to them.
No, a 5 is low, but not low enough. So they're fleeing. Yes. Where would you like to go with these goblins, if anywhere?
Well, I'm going to pursue, because I reckon if I can get them, I could panic those peasant men-at-arms and maybe clear them out the way for my orcs to get through.
Maybe.
So how far do your peasants flee? -1 for the field, 7 inches. I'm going through the field as well, so it's also -1.
Okay. Oh, you will.
9 for 8 total, so we catch them and cut them down. The question is whether 7 inches leaves them within range to panic the men-at-arms.
Okay.
So we need to see a panic check from the men-at-arms.
Come on, men-at-arms. You've just rallied to face up to these orcs. Maybe you weren't expecting these bowmen to go down quite so easy. They're okay.
They keep their nerve.
They keep their nerve. They hold their nerve. They know that with the goblins breaking through, it is even more important that these orcs do not. With my heart filled with optimism at the start of the turn, things did not go well for my peasant bowmen, who fell to those goblins despite their now ill-fated charge. With the goblins almost certainly breaking through, getting to Dolecourt, it now leaves the rest of the Bretonnian forces to simply offset the damage. In the backfield, there was a small victory, a revenge, let's say, for the 1 man-at-arms who died right at the start over here, where the squires were able to take out the rock lobber. But of course, in this upcoming turn, the key battle will be at the bridge.
The old paladin failed at the crossing. Only moments before the sound of Bretonnian horns announced approach of reinforcements.
Unexpected events happened. We slaughtered the peasant bowmen to a degree I had not expected, and therefore my goblins have progressed forwards to the edge of the battlefield, where they will strike down the road into Dolecourt itself and begin to sack it. On the centre of the bridge, Big Boss Scrag Chewer, having just mustered his boys into a marching column, sees the men-at-arms rally before him and forces them back out into close order, having been stalled at the bridge for a great period of time. Our boar chariot, having successfully rallied with a double 1, realizes he's not going to get to go into Dolecourt. He's definitely not going to get any of the tasty pastries and baked goods that are being baked in the bakeries over there, especially with his poor showing of fleeing before the big boss. And so he's decided to turn tail and head back towards the raiding camps so he can try and pick up some loot from maybe another raiding party, or get back to camp where the grog is going to be fresh and nobody else will be there yet. That brings us to the end of Orcs Turn 5. It's now an opportunity for the Bretonnians to see if they can destroy enough of the Orcs units that Dolecourt might survive slightly burned, if not intact.
The approaching knights drove into the greenskins, but they came too late to save the village from the wider advance.
So, these peasants know that they are the last line of defense for Dolecourt. They are going to hold this bridge with their lives. However, there is a chance for the Bretonnians to deal one last blow here. This chariot that caused so much difficulty for the knights at the start of the game and threatened to break through the lines is still around but fleeing. It is within range and sight of the knights and the squires, who will both declare a charge. Because the knights are a stronger unit, it will have to flee from them, bringing them closer to the squires.
And therefore, we will hold our ground.
So, but are you not fleeing? Or did you? Oh, you rallied! The first charge will be from the knights. Using Swift Stride on the green dice. Let's see. Ooh, so
12, 15 inches. I mean, that's likely.
I think so. Should we see what the peasants get as well, and we can see how far they both end up?
I mean, you're only 9 inches away, and it's barely a full inch of wheel.
The squires only rolled a 2 on the dice. So the squires will turn around and observe the knights crashing into the side of this chariot. However, they are straddling a low linear obstacle, which means that they will be disordered in this charge. I'll roll my knights first with their lances. Weapon skill 4. Hitting you on 3s.
That's right.
I hit 3 times. Strength 5.
Force to wound.
Ooh, 1 wound at AP 2.
6 to save. It's not saved. 1 wound remains on the chariot.
Are the horses going to be able to boot the last boar, assuming it is a boar remaining, and finish this chariot off? 3 hits.
Very good hits.
6s
to wound.
Okay, we're looking for a big 6 here. No! Okay, the horses failed to do the damage to finish it off. What can the chariot do back?
Well, the boars and the boys, without a charge involved, have the same attack profile.
Okay.
So, my orc dice will be the orcs, and my red dice will be the boars.
Okay.
4s to hit. 2 hits from the boars, none from the orcs. 4s to wound. 2 wounding hits.
Oh,
You got 3s and 6s to save.
I do. I make 1 save. Is the lady going to intervene? These slightly limp knights maybe deserve it, maybe they do not. She does not, and the knights lose 1 of their number.
You have no musician.
I have no musician.
It is a tied combat.
I'm in your flank.
Oh, that is a good point. You are. So it is a victory to you. 7 is a pass on my leadership, so I fall back in good order.
Ooh, there we go.
For 4 inches.
4 inches. Obviously, the knights would pursue in an attempt to finally finish this off, but I believe that is the end of the game.
It is indeed. These goblins here are at the edge of the table at the end of the game, within 4 inches of the boundary. Therefore, they are removed from the table and head off to sack Dolecourt.
Indeed. And the villagers, you can hear the shrieks in the distance, but the mystery remains as to whether or not the village survived.
Thus, I have scored 25 points for that unit of goblins getting off the table, and we must count the rest of our victory points. And you'll see them now. There we have it, Legionaries. A fantastic score of 355 to the Orcs, including 25 points for heading off the back of the table with our goblins and sacking Dolecourt. Meanwhile, and a score of 180 points to the Bretonnians, including a total of 60 points for managing to keep various Orc units on the field of battle and away from Dolecourt before they are forced to withdraw due to time.
Thank you very much, Legionaries, for joining us today. And thank you very much, Rich, for joining us once more on the channel. We've tried something a little different with the editing. It gives you a chance to see our ugly mugs, but we're also using stills for the combats to make recording a little bit easier. Let us know if you like that or if it's not working for you in the comments section below. Finally, a thank you to UK Resin Print for partnering with us. A link to their website, and indeed our own Discord, can be found in the description below. We look forward to hanging out with you there. Next week, we'll be hosting a birthday special showing off Star Wars Legion on the channel for the very first time. We hope you enjoy.